right now, in your body. There may already be microscopic cancer cells forming, not in the future, not someday, but here's the part most people never hear. Whether those cells grow into something dangerous or quietly disappear may depend less on your genes and more on your daily habits, especially what you eat. And in some cases, certain foods don't just support your health, they influence the exact biological systems that control tumor growth. I'm Dr. Alex Sinclair, an emergency medicine physician. For over 15 years, I've worked with patients facing serious illnesses, including cancer. And during that time, I noticed something that didn't quite add up. We were trained to focus on treatment, chemotherapy, radiation, surgery. But very little attention was given to how the body naturally resists disease in the first place. So I started looking deeper into the research, and what I found was both surprising and, in some ways, uncomfortable. Because the science has been there for years, but it's rarely explained in a way that people can actually use. To understand this, we need to shift one fundamental idea. Because cancer is not just something that suddenly appears. In fact, your body is constantly producing abnormal cells, every single day. You have around 40 trillion cells, and those cells are always dividing, replacing, repairing. But during that process, small errors naturally occur. Think of it like copying a document thousands of times. Eventually, tiny mistakes appear. Most of those mistakes don't matter, but occasionally, they create cells that shouldn't be there. And here's the critical point. Some of those cells are technically cancerous. So why don't we all develop cancer? Because your body is not passive. It's actively protecting you. Your immune system continuously scans for abnormal cells and removes them before they become dangerous, almost like a built-in surveillance system. But even when some of these cells escape detection, they still face another major limitation. They cannot grow unless they solve one problem. They need a blood supply. This is where something called angiogenesis becomes important. Angiogenesis simply means the formation of new blood vessels. Your body controls this process very carefully. Too little, tissues suffer. Too much, diseases can develop. It's a balance. But cancer cells can disrupt that balance. And this next part is critical to understand. A tumor without blood supply stays extremely small, often no bigger than a pinhead. It can remain there for years without causing harm. But the moment blood vessels begin to grow into it, everything changes. Growth can accelerate rapidly, in some cases expanding thousands of times in a very short period. Modern medicine recognizes this. There are drugs designed specifically to block this process. They work by cutting off the tumor's blood supply, but they also affect normal systems in the body, which is why side effects are common. Now here's where things become especially interesting, because researchers started asking a different question. What if natural compounds could influence the same pathways? When scientists began testing compounds found in everyday foods, they discovered that many of them interact with these biological systems, not aggressively like drugs, but in a way that supports balance. Over time, research has shown that certain foods can help regulate blood vessel growth, support DNA repair, strengthen immune response, influence gut bacteria linked to cancer defense. Let's go through the most important ones. Let's start with one that surprises most people. Kiwifruit. Not typically considered a medical food. But here's what's interesting. Studies have shown that regular kiwi consumption is associated with reduced DNA damage, and in higher amounts, improved DNA repair capacity. This is largely due to vitamin C and a network of antioxidants working together. And that combination matters more than any single nutrient alone. Now, this next one has been studied extensively. Green tea. It contains a compound called EGCG, and this compound has been shown to influence angiogenesis, the very process tumors rely on for growth. In simple terms, it helps limit abnormal blood vessel formation. For best results, use freshly brewed tea. Avoid bottled versions. Adding lemon may improve absorption. Blueberries, retention boost. Blueberries are another powerful example. They contain anthocyanins, compounds that support immune function. In some studies, these compounds have been linked to increased activity of immune cells responsible for identifying abnormal cells. And this is where things become important. It's not just about reducing risk, it's about strengthening the systems that protect you every day. Now, let's address something that's often misunderstood: soy. There's a common belief that soy is harmful due to its effect on hormones, but research suggests the opposite in many cases. Compounds in soy may actually help regulate hormone-related risks and influence tumor growth pathways, which is why populations with higher soy intake often show lower rates of certain cancers. Here's something most people don't realize. Broccoli sprouts are significantly more potent than mature broccoli. They contain a compound called sulforaphane, which supports detoxification and cellular defense systems. Even small amounts can have a measurable biological effect. Tomatoes provide lycopene, but here's the key detail. Cooking tomatoes increases lycopene absorption, so foods like tomato sauce or paste may actually be more beneficial than raw tomatoes in this context. Finally, pomegranate. This one works through a different pathway. It supports beneficial gut bacteria, which are now known to influence immune system performance. And this connection between the gut and immune system is becoming one of the most important areas of research. Now, at this point, you might be wondering, how do you actually apply this? The answer is simpler than most people expect. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to change everything at once, and then giving up. Instead, focus on small, repeatable habits. Add fruit to your morning routine. Replace one drink with green tea. Include vegetables more consistently. Over time, these small actions compound. It's important to be clear, food is not a cure for cancer, but it is a powerful influence. Your body already has systems designed to detect abnormal cells, repair DNA, control growth. The real question is, are you supporting those systems or ignoring them? If this helped you see things differently, then you're already ahead of most people, because awareness is where change begins. If you want more clear, science-based explanations like this, subscribe and stay connected. And as always, focus on consistent progress, not perfection. I'll see you in the next video.